Yo, what's going on everybody? List of Legends here, bringing you another top 8 list today, and I'm sure a lot of you are quite surprised that it's not a SpongeBob or Total Drama one, but an anime video. Now, I haven't done that much anime on the channel, and I definitely want to change that because I'm a huge anime fan, especially of Naruto. So I thought, hey, you know what, how about we make a video on the top 8 legendary Naruto villains of all time. Now for this list, I'm going to be excluding Boruto because I haven't seen all of it yet, and honestly, there weren't really any that I would make on this list anyway, but for you Boruto fans out there, if you really want, I can make a separate list later down the road. Now this list isn't meant to be in order of power, but their impact on the series as well, of course, of being a villain. With all that established and out of the way, if you haven't already, be sure to click that like and subscribe button so I know you like my content. Without further interruptions, let's begin. Starting our list off is actually both a hero and a villain at the same time, ironically, in a sense. You know him very well, Mr. Itachi Uchiha. Now obviously we all know he's a good guy in disguise. I mean, the dude literally slaughtered his entire clan, joined the Akatsuki as a spy, all to protect Konoha, so massive respect of course. But this is a villains list after all, so looking at Itachi's fake identity as a bad guy, he did a pretty good job. He was the whole reason Sasuke wanted to leave the village to get stronger. He infiltrated the Leaf Village, putting Itachi under Tsukuyomi, and making Miss Perfect Genjutsu Kurenai look like a joke. Dude was a genius of a genius, and I can see why. So overall, while Itachi wasn't really a bad guy, he did play his part as a villain pretty well in my opinion. And I think that deserves a round of applause on its own. Next up at our number 2 spot, we have Kaguya, the mother of all chakra, if you will. Now Kaguya I wasn't the biggest fan of at first, but over time she's kinda grown on me as a character. I do like her design. She was able to take on both Sage of Six Paths, Naruto, and Sasuke at the same time, showing us a completely different level of power, to the point of showing us entire different dimensions, with a fiery lava kind of world and an ice world. Her ability to casually just be able to swat away Naruto's shadow clones like flies was absolutely ridiculous. These same clones that were able to fight Sage of Six Paths Madara's Limbo clones. So I think it's pretty safe to assume Kaguya's impact as a villain was pretty good. I mean, she was pretty much the end of the world if Naruto and Sasuke weren't able to seal her away. Just to not make Mambo's boy feel left out, I'll also include Black Zetsu with her. I mean, as much as I don't like it, I mean, who does, honestly? He essentially wrote the whole series himself, but nonetheless, the reason why I'm putting her so low is because while she did have a pretty good impact as being a villain, I just don't like how she kind of appeared out of nowhere in a sense. She just popped out of Madara, which was really weird as opposed to some of the other characters on this list who have better build-up. Number 3 is Kabuto, or rather Sage Kabuto, because any other version of him was nowhere near as good and didn't have as much of an impact. But anyway, Sage Kabuto was definitely a force to be reckoned with. I mean, his part in the 4th war shouldn't be overlooked. The dude completely mastered Sage mode and convinced Obito to join forces, which drastically increased his battle strength with strong Edo Tensei left and right, from Zabuza, Asuma, Nagato, Itachi, the previous other Kage, and even Madara Uchiha himself. Like, come on man, that's absolutely nuts. I mean, if it wasn't for Itachi's quick thinking, Nagato and Itachi would have freaking killed me in Naruto. The fight scene team up with Itachi and Sasuke versus Kabuto was really cool. Kabuto had such an insane arsenal. I know a lot of people don't particularly like Kabuto very much. He was basically Orochimaru's puppet, and I can understand why, but his presence in Shippuden I think was greatly appreciated when he goes under Sage mode transformation, so you know, I think we should throw our pal Kabuto a bone for our number 3 spot. Halfway on our list, we have Sasuke Uchiha, and I think there's literally no doubt in mine, or anyone's mind for that matter, that he was going to become a really big problem after fleeing the village in search of Orochimaru for power. And pretty much the whole entire series was dedicated to Naruto doing anything he could to bring Sasuke back to the village. I mean, they finally reunite at the beginning of Shippuden. He pretty much soloed Team 7 like they were little more than a pest being swatted away. His presence of course drove Naruto to further heights. Since he left, Naruto felt like he was so inferior to Sasuke at this point, and after Itachi's death, he even joined the Akatsuki and attacked the 5 Kage summit, but that's like baby stuff compared to him literally going bonkers and instant genjutsuing, trapping all the Biju and Chubaku Tensei, and going to wipe out the current 5 Kage. Which, after all that, he still had enough to challenge Naruto to a death battle. All this was just so sudden, like the tension grew really high, especially after knowing they defeated Kaguya and saving the world only to have all of this go down. I really enjoyed this fight with Naruto at the end. The whole journey of him basically switching sides was just really incredible to see, not knowing which side he ultimately would end up choosing at the end, after of course knowing the truth about Itachi. So you know, Sasuke, great villain for sure. Number 5 is Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki himself. The build up to Pain was absolutely incredible to see go down. You know, we see him giving the orders and possessing the Rinnegan. He took down one of the legendary Sannin Jiraiya. Of course, his whole introduction was 5 stars, and to see him literally pull up to Konoha demanding Naruto, only for him to completely destroy the village, all while fighting everyone in it. He also took down Kakashi pretty quickly without much difficulty. Mind you, after fighting everyone and destroying the entire Leaf Village, he's still able to fight a Sage Mode Naruto, who has a literal cheat sheet to defeat him, and Naruto still just barely won that fight. I mean, he basically completed Orochimaru's goal faster than ever. By far one of the coolest members of the Akatsuki for sure. Everything about Pain was just really interesting to see, you know, his whole Pass the Pain shtick and crazy summonings. Overall, I just don't think anyone's going to have a problem with him being on this list. Pain is by far one of the coolest villains we've ever seen. Number 6 is Orochimaru, and like Pain, his introduction in part 1 was executed perfectly. He had solid motivation for wanting to possess Sasuke's body and destroy the village. He was one of the most terrifying villains, and his dark presence hasn't really been replicated since then, and I don't think we'll ever see it again. His villain aspect actually sticks around for a pretty long time, and it's something you don't typically see too often, the way it's portrayed in Naruto at least, from what I've seen. His interactions with our characters is really well established, and everyone pretty much knows we can't let this dude go any further. He waited until his time to strike and basically hijacked the Chunin exams, manipulated the Sand Village, and killed the 4th Kazekage. I mean, I think we can all agree this dude was truly a feared force that nobody wanted to succeed. He's literally the main reason why Sasuke leaves the village for his quest for power. His battle with the 3rd Hokage Hiruzen was really cool. The moment he brought back 2 people, the 1st and 2nd Hokage from the dead, was just absolutely insane, since we haven't seen anything like that. Speaking of the dead, he of course was able to reanimate the first 4 Hokage and refine the Edo Tensei, so it really shows you the lengths this dude went through. Orochimaru overall was someone that was constantly feared, and his presence in part 1 and even in Shippuden will never be forgotten, so all hail Lord Orochimaru. Nearing the end of our list, at our number 7 spot, we have Obito Uchiha. The whole idea of him working behind the scenes of the Akatsuki, manipulating everything and everyone was pretty nicely played out. I thought him as Toby was pretty funny, but when he started his whole Madara thing, you know it got pretty serious. Since of course everyone thought Madara is supposed to be dead, and aside from Hashirama, nobody could defeat him in battle. So for you to go around claiming to be one of the most elite shinobi is pretty terrifying to say the least. I mean, dude completely just gave up on the world, and just simply didn't care. He had a lot of pretty cool fights, like the one with Minato, as short as it was, and when Kabuto rolled up on him with most of the Akatsuki as reanimated shinobi, Obito was pretty well sure of himself that he could defeat all of them, including Kabuto, which is absolutely crazy. His Kamui ability was pretty cool to see in action. His one and only goal, his entire motivation is to fulfill the Eye of the Moon plan, and that's it. He just doesn't care. There are really a ton of Obito moments I could go on and on about, but all in all, everybody knows Obito's presence in Shippuden was just impeccable and cannot be replicated. Coming to our great number 8 spot, I'm sure it's pretty dang obvious at this point, since there's like only one major villain left, and that of course is Madara Uchiha. By far the best villain in all of anime history, from what I've seen. His whole story was just pure perfection, like, it's no joke. He by far had the best build-up, with his character being referenced all the way back in part 1. It's just absolutely insane. And when he finally shows up, every time you see him on screen, it's never boring. All the way since he was a child, Madara has seen so many wars. A life of shinobi was only averaged around 30 years old, for crying out loud. When he met Hashirama Senju, he too wanted to create a world of only peace, but unlike Hashirama, Madara believes you truly can't see inside of someone, so he ends up leaving the village to fulfill the Eye of the Moon plan, a massive genjutsu where the whole world is under it for all eternity. When he finally appears in the war arc, he's just manhandling everyone left and right. He took out the entire 4th division like it was literally nothing, took down the 5 Kage. When he became the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, he was pretty much unstoppable, like nobody could even touch him. It's just crazy to think how many feats this guy has managed to accomplish. Just himself in base is a powerhouse, then you give him double Renegon and Sage Mode, like, how much more OP can this dude really get? Now, I don't want to ramble on for too long and basically repeat myself, other than he was a god, plain and simple. So that's really all I have to really say. Madara is a god. Alright viewers, I think we can officially cross off the legendary Naruto villains on this list. Let me know what list you'd like to see next. With all that said, I look forward to seeing you with our next list.